Hey everybody, today I'm in Noblesville, Indiana on a very hot, very sunny day, which brings back a lot of memories of spending a lot of time at this particular facility here. But Noblesville is one of the only suburbs that does events as big as what we're going to be talking about here today. So we'll get into some of the details of it, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group, and welcome back to the channel. If you want to know everything there is to know about living in Noblesville, Indiana, or any of the suburbs around Indianapolis or Indianapolis itself, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video each and every week. And we get reach outs from people all over the Indy Metro and all over the country wanting to move within the Indy Metro or to Indianapolis or any of the surrounding areas. So if you're in the same boat and you want to make that move, then make sure that you reach out to us. We love it when people do, and we've absolutely got your back whenever you're making your move. So in this video here today, we're going to talk about Noblesville a little bit. I've done some other videos about Noblesville, and if you know anything about it, it's a pretty good sized suburb on the northeast side of Indianapolis. It has a little more than 50,000 people or so it's not the biggest. Fishers and Carmel, they're both close to 100,000 people. And honestly, Carmel and Fishers, at least around the country, those are the suburbs that are probably the most well known. So I've always felt like Noblesville flies under the radar a little bit. It's kind of in the shadow of Carmel and Fishers. And people who live in this area, at least on the north side, or they want to move to the north side in the Indianapolis suburbs, be either for Noblesville or kind of against it. They'll either say, I want to live in Carmel and Fishers, but not Noblesville. And then it could be the other way around too. I want to live in Noblesville, but not Carmel and Fishers. So it's always kind of had this little dividing line, it seems like, which is just a personal preference for everybody. It still has phenomenal schools here in Noblesville, some of the best in the state, and most of the Indianapolis suburbs on the north side, you're gonna find that. Just great schools, so you almost can't make a bad choice there. It's certainly big. There's about 3,000 kids at the high school, so it's not a small school corporation, but it's fantastic. And Noblesville has a different vibe, it has a different feel than some of the other suburbs for sure. And they do a lot of things that are a little bit different. It's a little more understated, I feel like. It's a little more calm. There's a few more outdoorsy things that you can do. And it's pretty far northeast. So it's not always the best location for people. So you can get out into the country and out into the farmland a whole lot easier in Noblesville. If you just keep going northeast, that's exactly what you run into. It'll be bean fields and cornfields, and actually it's beautiful. Lots of trees too. It's fantastic. So when people think Noblesville, they usually think of things like that, or it's beautiful town square. It's just an old-fashioned town square, awesome. Morse Reservoir, which is a huge reservoir, but it's just more relaxed than what you're gonna find in a place like Geist Reservoir. So even though it has that understated, more relaxed type of feel, it still does some of the biggest things in the Indianapolis area. So for one, it has Hamilton Town Center, which is a huge outdoor mall with restaurants and tons of shops. I mean, it has all of the chain shops like an Old Navy, JCPenney, all these really big name department stores and just general stores that you'd find across the entire country, but also a lot of different restaurants, and it's all very walkable. You can park and then you can walk from place to place, all outdoors. Now, Carmel has one that's kind of similar to it called Clay Terrace, but it's smaller. And there are some other larger malls and shopping centers, things like that across Indianapolis, like Keystone on the north side, or you have Circle Center Mall, which is downtown. But Hamilton Town Center is really one of a kind. A really cool place, absolutely huge, and it's really changing every single year. That whole area is just being developed and added to more and more every single year. It used to just be absolutely nothing 15 years ago. It was just completely cornfields, bean fields, and just trees and maybe a random house here or there and some farms. But the other place that's really big in Noblesville, and people will flock to Noblesville for these events, is right where I'm standing now. This is Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center, which everybody just calls it Ruoff Music Center. In fact, people like myself of my age, we call it Deer Creek, because this used to be Deer Creek Music Center years and years ago, and then Verizon took it over, and it was Verizon Music Center, and then it was Klipsch Music Center, but now it's Ruoff. So Ruoff Home Mortgage Center. But it's an enormous outdoor concert venue. So it seats at least 25,000 here, and I think there have been concerts where they've pushed it a little bit and it gets a little bit closer to 30,000. Has an enormous pavilion that's covered, so you can go in there and actually have a seat, although it has an area down in front where you can stand. I wouldn't call it a mosh pit, but it has been a mosh pit at certain shows. But I've seen some huge acts here, and whenever a huge act comes to Indianapolis, they're gonna go really just to a handful of places. So you got some places downtown. There are all kinds of smaller venues all around Indianapolis. Fantastic places to see shows, but you've got Lucas Oil Stadium, which is pretty much reserved for enormous shows. That's where the Colts play. It would be music festivals, things like that, like Kenny Chesney. I think he has concerts that do that sort of thing, where they just have shows all day long, and you're talking 50, 60,000 people. And then there's Bankers Life Fieldhouse, where the Fever and the Pacers both play. So that one's a little smaller, but I've seen some really big shows in there too. So I've seen U2, Coldplay, quite a few other shows in there as well. Cirque du Soleil, Disney on Ice, it's been in there, and taking the kids to that, and that was shockingly good. That was really fantastic. It was really entertaining. It's pretty awesome. But outside of that, through the better weather months, this is where they're gonna go. These huge acts are gonna come here to Ruoff Music Center, and it's a really cool place. Outdoors, so like I said, you have the pavilion, you can have seats there, but you can also have the lawn and stand or sit on the grass if you want to during the show. Most people stand, so you can have that experience. That's a little rougher. I kind of prefer the pavilion these days because I've been to a number of shows out here. In fact, seen Tom Petty out here. Rest in peace, Tom Petty. Unfortunately, not anymore, but I've seen him 4 times out here, and I think it's rained every single time we've seen him. In fact, it stormed so badly one time that all the power went out in the entire amphitheater. Show just stopped, and then the power came back on. It was actually a really cool moment. Everybody was singing the song, they kept singing it, and the power came back on, and they just continued right on playing. Pretty amazing, but it's rained every single time. There are shows like the Dave Matthews Band, and whether you're a Dave Matthews Band fan or not, who cares, but you get the idea that it's a really big show. And in fact, Dave Matthews Band spends every time they're on tour 2 nights here. And you used to be able to camp out here and tailgate all day long, and that's actually, if we went to a Dave Matthews show, it's what we would do. The show would start later that night, but we'd get out here at 1 in the afternoon and tailgate all day. It'll kind of discourage that. Don't do that anymore. It's a big enough facility, and they sell out every single time, that a band like that will spend 2 nights here, and I'm sure they just rake it in whenever they do spend 2 nights here, but it's big enough to do that. We've seen Coldplay here. We've seen multiple other shows out at this facility. So if it's any big name, they're gonna play downtown Indy, or they're coming to little Noblesville, Indiana to play their show. Now, it used to be much further out here. So when you came out, it was just all little country roads leading right to this music center. But now that Hamilton Town Center is just off to the south. In fact, standing here, I'm looking towards the south, I can see little bits and pieces of it out there. To the north, it's a little different. Actually, to the north, it gets a little bit more residential, and actually directly west, just across the road, you've got houses, just tons and tons of houses. So if you're in any one of those neighborhoods, or if you're in Hamilton Town Center and there's a concert going on over here, you can hear it. There's no doubt about that. And in fact, if a concert's going on here too, if you don't like the music, you're unfortunately gonna hear it. If you like it, great, that's awesome. But the traffic out here during shows is incredible. Recently, it seems to have been better getting in and out, but I've been here years ago, at least 20 years ago, and it's taken more than 2 hours to get out of here. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. But this place, it's changed, but it used to be just kind of really far out there. It was almost like that baseball field and Field of Dreams, and is this heaven? He says, no, this is Iowa. So it's a little bit like this. You just are out in the country, and then boom, you've got this music center just out of nowhere, and you think, what, is this heaven? No, it's Noblesville, Indiana. It's the craziest thing, but it's grown up around here quite a bit. So if you are thinking about living in Noblesville, out in the Northeast, you'll be close potentially to this music center. And so when concerts are going on, and they can go on from April, May, June, all the way in through October, even when it's a little bit cool for shows, the traffic is something that you might have to deal with if you're anywhere near this particular area. So it's a thing that Noblesville has done for a very long time. That's huge for the Indianapolis area. And a lot of people don't really think about Noblesville doing these really big things. But Noblesville continues to grow, and in my mind, it continues to become just a cooler place to live. Really a big fan of Noblesville with exactly how much it has to offer. So if you have questions about Noblesville or any of the area around here, around Ruoff or Deer Creek Music Center, reach out. We're happy to answer any kind of question that you might have, whether it's positive living out this way or is it negative living out this way. Of course, that's going to depend on your personal situation, but we can help steer you in the right direction. And until the next one, we'll see you later.